Hey folks, this is Matt once again coming at you with another review. And before I finish up the Godzilla reviews, I figured why not review a film that First Power 100 has sent me. And it was a Blu-ray of I Saw the Devil. It's an unrated version. It's Blu-ray, directed by Kim Ji-woon, same guy who would go on to make Arnold Schwarzenegger's The Last Stand. If you're wondering, special features, not only is it unrated, but it has the deleted scenes and raw and rough behind the scenes of I Saw the Devil. I know this is a film that got a lot of good reviews. Finally saw the film, and it's one of those films that I can appreciate it, but it's not a film I can see myself ever watching again, to be honest. I will say though, Kim Ji-woon, it really does show he is a accomplished director. I can see why people will look at this and go, "Oh wow, he's going to direct a Schwarzenegger film." And believe I love The Last Stand. But I almost wish now he could do like you could do a darker film, but not a downbeat film with someone like Schwarzenegger or someone like that. Because visually, the film is well done visually. It's a great looking movie. The cast is top notch. It's definitely not. I don't know how to put it. Basically, the story is you have a guy who's a special agent, and he one leads to another. This sicko kills his fiance, who's pregnant. And the violence is pretty brutal. Although I would not put this in the category of like a Serbian film or Martyrs, because I think this is actually a film, which I know piss off a lot of people who enjoy those two films, but I'm not a fan of those at all. This one, again, I could probably see myself watching it. I watched it once. I don't need to see it again, but I can. This one I can appreciate. The killer, I think he was in the movie Old Boy. He did a good job as the killer. You really are eerie of this guy. Leery is the word I wanted to use actually, but he's also eerie because he could be very calm, but at the same time becomes such a psychopathic guy. And he goes to this woman who she's waiting for a tow truck, and he tells very calm, walks away, but then he comes back, gets in the car, smacks her in the head, takes her back, and she says, please don't kill me. And he asks why, and she goes, well, I'm pregnant. He doesn't care, and he kills her anyway. And you see the remains of her where she's pretty much chopped up to bits, and it's graphic, but it's more intense than anything. Like, it's gory, but it's more of an intense factor. Like, for example, a Serbian film, Martyrs. I can't really call this film a torture porn type of film. It's a very bloody, intense revenge flick. But it's hard to put in that torture porn type of category. And long story short, which it never is, the special agent and then the girl's father, I guess, was a chief of police at one point. I don't know if he still is. I forgot. They and a group of cops find that the woman is dead, and there's 4 suspects. Now, really enough, it kind of I don't really understand why this guy finds out who is really the killer before the cops do. Because the guy, like, he gets vacation time, but he goes to each of these suspects, like the first guy. And you have scenes that you just like you don't really need this because this film is 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's a problem. This film did not need to be 2 hours and 20 minutes long. I'm sorry. Like, we don't need to see him go to the first suspect who's jerking off to a porn, and then he ties the guy up, finds out it's not the guy, but takes a wrench and beats the guy in the balls. You don't see the balls, but you just see his undies, and we see the special agent hit the guy in the balls with a wrench, through his undies. I guess because these suspects have committed these kind of vile crimes before, so it's not like they're innocent people. But it's like I don't need to see the guy in his underwear. And I don't need to see the guy jerking off. I mean, but you don't see his dick. But I mean, it's what they do is like it's not something I really needed to see. Then the second guy, he bumps him off a motorcycle and beats the shit out of him. Finds out it's not him. Then goes to the third guy and finds out it is that guy. He sneaks in, finds some jewelry, including his wedding ring that he had given his fiance. And of course, it's like, well, if there's four suspects, how come the police, how come they're taking such a long ass time? I guess because that's the point. This guy, he's going above the law, so to speak, and he's going in. But I'm like, the rest of the cops in this film are pretty incapable dipshits, and to say to a point, they're pretty incapable dipshits. And the fact that this guy, special agent, how he's getting away with all this probably makes it hard to believe. Like, how the fuck is this guy getting away with all this, even though it seems like everyone knows who's doing it, but they can't seem to find the guy, and they can't. It's like, I mean, I know you could say that for a dozen other films, but this one just kind of bugged me in particular. But it's such a well-filmed movie, and it's a well-acted film. And it's pretty much 40 minutes in when he finally does find the killer. And the killer's ready. He follows the guy, and the killer's ready to assault the schoolgirl. And the lead guy gets there. And I really enjoy this scene because I like the idea that this special agent, he wants revenge for his woman who was killed with his unborn baby. And he wants to punish this guy as much as possible. So he wants to fuck him up, then put this GPS with a microphone capsule down his throat and follow him so that he can keep beating him up and torture him. And I'm like, okay, that's an interesting idea for a revenge film. And I also like the fact that the killer doesn't have a chance against a special agent, because the special agent, he's a good fighter, but the killer, he's just a regular guy. He's a psychopath, a guy you want to hate. But I like the special agent's actually kicking his ass and kicks the villain's ass pretty good. I mean, again, it's because he's a special agent while the killer is just a regular guy. And it's well handled. The fight scenes are well handled, well executed. It shows the special agent knows his stuff. I like the environment. Sort of the killer's about to rape this girl, assault this girl, but he stopped and sees the guys. Asks, "What are you, a cop? Are you this and that?" And it's amidst all these plants. I'm not sure exactly where the location is. But it's filmed well, and the guy fucks him up, and even puts like a bag over the bad guy's head to suffocate him. Pounds his head against a rock, shoves his capsule into his mouth, and then actually, for good measure, steps on the guy's arm and leaves the guy there. So yeah, I like that idea. In fact, I would love that idea to be put into another film where you have a special agent, going. The point of this film is to show that this guy takes the revenge too far, and so, like the title says, I saw the devil. He's sort of becoming the killer. Not a killer. He doesn't become a killer, but he's becoming. You can't push revenge too far, otherwise. It's kind of like the stuff they try to do in 8mm, where Joaquin Phoenix says, you dance with the devil, it dances with you. You look into the mirror too much, you don't see yourself, and the reflection, you're not going to recognize it. It's stuff that they try to do in 8mm, but it's like that film kind of didn't go too far, and this film, I can understand the point that the revenge goes too far, but it's just about personal preference. It's even though it's I guess technically it's not a downbeat ending, but kind of as one person would say, it's kind of one big bummer. I mean, I know that's the point. The point is not, this is not for fun and shits and giggles. And you kind of start to lose likability of the lead guy. Maybe that's the point. But the fact that he keeps letting this killer go, and for instance, when he lets the killer go, he stops a cab, and granted, this is a good scene where the killer finds out that the two guys are thugs, that they you find out they actually killed the taxi driver, put him in the trunk, and they're ready to kill the, but they just don't realize that the guy with them that they picked up is a killer. And he's like, no, I think you guys are unlucky. And stabs the shit out of him. You see practical spurts of blood from the neck. Just stabs the shit out of him. When he stabs him inside the taxi, the camera goes to like a 360. And it's well shot, well executed. The guy knows how to shoot stuff. He really does. It's a good looking film. And the fact that these two are thugs, it's like, okay, it's like. At the same time, I'm thinking, well, the cop doesn't know that. The special agent doesn't know that. He let this guy go. The guy could have went into a cab with an innocent person, and that innocent person would be fucking dead. He'd be fucking dead. There's no way this guy would know that. The special agent. But yet he still continues to do this. And even his fiance's father, his fiance's sister tells him to stop, and he doesn't. And that's when, what I'm saying, you start to lose likability with this lead guy. And again, maybe that's the point, but at the same time, I'm watching one guy. I mean, that's the point. You're watching one guy sort of lose his soul, and the other guy's a psychopath. And once again, this killer, he finally gets to the hospital, and is assaulting this nurse. And then the cop shows up to fuck him up. And again, the special agent knows how to fight, and the killer doesn't stand a chance. Which I like that idea. Usually it'd be okay to have back and forth, back and forth. No, it's like the special agent, he's going to fuck this psycho up. So he fucks up with his extinguisher as he gets his Achilles tendon and cuts it very slowly. And again, you're kind of like, okay, this son of a bitch deserves it for what he's done. Because how he killed his fiancée at the beginning is a vicious way. So you're okay with, well, in a way, you're okay with this cop torturing this guy. It's just that, okay, this woman was assaulted. And those people were killed in the cab. You didn't know those were innocent people. I mean, that they were, thugs. They could have been innocent people. You didn't know that. And that's the point of the film. But at the same time, I'm just one of those guys that sometimes I'm just more of a cliche type of character, but cliche type of fellow. And it's not supposed to be a black and, it's not black and white. It's all gray area. And I understand that. So that's what I appreciate the film. It's just not 100% my cup of tea. But I appreciate for the film. Like, I understand why it gets praise because it's well filmed, well acted. I understand it, but at the same time, it's not the type of film I'm the most eager to watch again or anything of that matter. But then he lets the bad guy go again after cutting his Achilles tendon and fucking him up with a fire extinguisher. And the bad guy goes to his buddy who's a cannibal and who has a sister. And the guy who's a cannibal is talking to him and says, wow, you must probably someone that related to someone you killed. It looks like you created a monster. And the lead guy goes in. There's this girl tied up there that the cannibal's really ready to kill, and the lead guy saves her. And he even fucks the cannibal guy, takes him in his arms, breaks his hand like a couple times, stabs through his hand, ties him up. Bad guy, the other psychopath comes in with a shotgun. The lead guy dodges, and he's able to maneuver very well outside and up to the top of the second floor of the building. And there's like the cannibal sister, and the special agent just beats the shit out of her, just punches her, knocks her out. And really fucks up these two, the cannibal and the psychopath. The psychopath would kill his fiancée, and the cannibal really fucks them up. Takes them down easily, like throws these things so that the psychopath steps on them and he's in bare feet and falls down. And he beats the shit out of these guys, beats them in the head, spurts the blood from their head. And, it gets to a point where I'm like, these people should be dead. Like, this guy's beat them so much in the head, you see blood spurt from their head. They should have either brain damage or be fucking dead. And then I'm thinking, well, why are they not dead? And of course, I'm also thinking, just kill them already. Just take the guy, strap him to a chair, fucking take his fingernails off one by one, his toes off one by one, his fingers off one by one, his tongue, his ears, his nose, his dick, cut it sideways, upside down, shove it up his ass. I don't know, just. But he doesn't. He gets him to a hospital so that he can continue to do it, track him and torture him again. And again, that's the point, is that he's taking it too far. So, of course, one thing leads to another. The bad guy finds out that he has a transmitter inside him. He did some stuff, beats the shit out of the store clerk, shits it out. So I guess all the times he probably took his shit, the transmitter didn't come out at those times, but just taking some stuff so he can do it on purpose. Now he can shit it out, but it's like, why couldn't he shit it out before, like normally? Like, just go to the bathroom, like, ugh, what the fuck? But he doesn't. And while the lead guy is trying to help the store clerk, the bad guy goes to, since he now knows who it is, goes back, kills his fiance's sister, blinds his fiance's father, blinds him, is ready to turn himself in. Then the lead guy comes in, grabs him, because he's not done with him yet because of what he just did, takes him back to this place. I like this moment before that where he visits the cannibal guy in the hospital, and the cannibal guy is laughing. And the lead guy goes, "Oh, you're laughing about that? You think that's funny?" Takes the guy right here, right there, and like really just goes to town. Like he's like, "I'm gonna make you a new, a bigger smile or a new smiley face or something type of line like that." And the lead guy pretty much stretches the guy's jaw, and it's practical, and you see it like giving way and blood, and it's like, yeah. I mean, the guy deserves it because he's a fucking cannibal, but I like that moment. And that's what I mean. It's almost like when he's beating the shit out of the psychopath and the cannibal and kills it. It's like, okay, but he went too far, and he was pretty stupid, to be honest. If I say the lead guy was pretty fucking stupid to keep letting this guy go. And look what happened. His fiance's dad is now blind. His fiance's sister is dead. And he takes them to this place and burns a cigarette on the guy and is rid this place together, and they have a talk. And pretty much what the guy does, the lead guy, he rigged it so that, and this again is a fucked up thing to do, he invites the psychopath's family to the door. So when they're toting on the door, there's like a guillotine that comes down and chops the psychopath's head, and then the family opens up and they see it. And the whole time the lead guy, the special agent's hearing this, takes it off, is walking away, and then he breaks down crying. Because, I guess everything that's happened and such. And you pretty much know this guy's life is over. I mean, obviously he's not going to have a job anymore. The cops know what he did, so he's probably going to go to jail for decades. His fiance's sister is dead. His fiance's father is blinded. I think that was fucked up. Like, okay, the psychopath deserves to die, but for his family to watch it? Why for his family to watch it? I mean, I don't really. That to me, I guess that's the point. He's going over to, even though he breaks down, so he's not. But it's like, did you really need to have his family to watch? What did his family do? That's what I mean. Like his family. It's not like his family knew that the guy was a psycho and anything like that. Like, so letting his family find the guy that way is just. So again, there's stuff about it that just didn't appeal to me personally. It just didn't appeal to me personally. This is why it's not a film I'm gonna be rewatching time and time again. It's probably the last time I watch it. But I will admit, it is a well-directed film. Visually, it's great to look at. The actors are really good. It's definitely gory. I like when the special agent is beating the shit out of the bad guy psychopath and the cannibal guy, because I like the idea that he knows the moves and the bad guys don't, because they're just regular folks. They're psychos, but they don't have the training like this guy does. So I like that aspect of it. I like to see that in other movies. And he fucks these, and they're well staged, well handled, very well, expertly handled. Uh, but it's just, it's too long. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. The other cops seem like dumbasses that they can't do jack shit. Certain plot elements I didn't agree with, or it just didn't appeal to me. Like, I understand where it's going, but it's just not something that appeals to me as a movie watcher, as a film goer, how you want to call it. And well, why do you review? Well, because First Power 100, I should mention that First Power 100, he sent me this to review, and thus I'm reviewing it. So, if those plot elements I talked about don't bother you at all, feel free to give it a watch. Other than that, uh, it's well directed. I can see that this director did have talent. I understand why watching this they would get him like The Last Stand with Schwarzenegger, and I hope this guy continues to do more action films. To be honest, which I'm sad The Last Stand flopped. But if this guy directed, say, I See You with Sylvester Stallone, that would have been fantastic. Like, that would have been excellent. Instead of the guy who did fucking I Know What You Did Last Summer. And I love I See You with Stallone, despite his problems. But if this guy directed that film, man, it would have been fantastic. Because the guy definitely has a look to it, or he definitely has a. He's a capable director, but yeah, it's just a little too long, and certain plot elements that I just not particular fan of where the film went. But that's just me. That's just a personal preference. I don't know if I could say that's something wrong with the film itself, but that's just a personal preference. But either way, I'm not sure what else I could say about I Saw the Devil. Uh, Definitely a well-directed film and well-acted film. If you want to give it a watch, that's your choice. It's again, I saw it once. It was more than enough, but I could say it is a well-made film. But there's just certain the length of it, and there's just certain elements that just doesn't really appeal to me. But either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and stay tuned for another video later.